Hey everybody, it's B Diz the Rockstar, part of SuperObvious. In this video, we're talking about Dying Light 2 Stay Human. Let's go. Normally, when I do recaps for games, I do them in one video, but Dying Light / Dying Light the Following has been my favorite gaming experience ever, and I've been looking forward to this game for like years. The game starts with our character Aiden doing some running around with Spike, who was a really cool character in the first game. He even mentions Kyle Crane, who was the character we played as in the first game, which was a great nod. When Aiden is sleeping, we see these pieces of his past with his sister Mia, who are subjects to this guy named Dr. Waltz, and Aiden feels like he is the one who can help him find his lost sister and make him pay for what he has done. As soon as we get to the main area of the game, we are called a pilgrim because we have traveled a very long way, like thousands of kilometers, and pilgrims are not respected by the locals, borderline hated. As soon as we get into the first community area, we are attacked, hung, and almost die, but are saved by a guy named Hacken. Everybody in the community wears these biomarkers, which are these bracelets that monitor your level of infection. Not having one of these is a huge red flag, just as serious as if you were infected. Hacken vouches for us and has an idea to where we can get a biomarker, and it's at a GRE hospital that is heavily infected. After getting the biomarker, you keep in contact with Hacken throughout the missions as you play the game. You're introduced to different groups. One are the Peacekeepers, or the PKs, who look kinda semi like how law enforcement could have looked before the whole world went to shit. They seem more focused on control and violence. We have another group who want to defend themselves and take out the PKs so they don't have to worry about their threats being in the way. There's also bandits, who are a bunch of savage mofos that are constantly in the way and pretty easy to take out if you're decent with the combat system of the game. Our goal is to get to a place called the Center, which is a GRE tunnel, but of course it's complicated and there are all these factors of how it could be used or not able to be used, even with different people promising us to help us get to it after we have done a bunch of missions for them. We want access to this to find our sister Mia. As you know, this game is heavy on how your decisions affect others and the direction that the game is going. Of course, whenever you talk to anyone about anything, you can choose your answer however you want and go from there. As we get to where we take over a bandit camp, that's when the decisions of the game get a lot more stressful and intense, with decisions having to be made in a few seconds, choosing a clear side of who you're with, and feel the decision will help one side in some ways and really crumble the opposite side's chances of what they are trying to accomplish. One of the characters I liked early on was a little girl named Maya, who stole the Lazarus, which are these spiked brass knucks off an important PK member that was murdered, which is an investigation we are trying to solve for them, which is suspected to be done by someone from the bazaar. So that's an example of how we are kind of playing both sides. We are ultimately trying to do whatever it takes to get to the center, but are also trying to not screw either side over, even though we are helping both sides, and trying to not get busted and viewed as a traitor from either side if exposed. After some talking, Maya sells us the Nux for like nothing, which helps us with the story, and later asks us to get this music box that was taken from her, and it's the last thing she has as far as a memory of her mom. She just wants to get it back, even if we just sell it, as long as nobody bad has it. When we let her know that we got it back and sold it like she said we could, she seems kind of bummed but not devastated. It's a pretty emotional part of the story, especially for a little girl during these times. The graphics for the game are without a doubt amazing. The open world environment has so much detail and the setting of the game feels very unique. As far as the combat system at this point, I think it's great. One thing with the melee weapons with mods is that you can just shoot electricity and fire at enemies, giving you a huge advantage, especially against several or larger enemies. The difference between night and day is pushed forward, where there are better times to be in buildings and outside. Also, the chemical/radiation levels of when you can be in certain areas is a huge factor with your immunity, which is basically a clock on your screen constantly letting you know when your level of infection is compromised so much, and it's critical to you turning and dying. Like and share the video, comment below, and subscribe to the channel for more content, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Totally for sure.